Переправи розбиті, мости розбиті, об'їзди. Ми тут родились, виросли, жили, батьки живуть, родичі всі тут живуть. Ну, хто робитиме, якщо не ми?
Короче, что возле базара? Знаешь, где базар?
Ну, возле 15 дома там где-то разбило.
Ну да, ну может чуть вперед протянуть ближе туда. Помнишь, мы там виновали? Туда было виновали. Александр.
Лісова! Ілінічна! Іди рисуй куди.
Радічка, де ви ходите?
Коло тебе, Наталочка, розписуйся.
Давайте. Вон. Давайте починаємо. Як завжди, по ящику на людину. Погнали по списках. Тільки слухайте уважно. Добре?
I was born in the city of Kryvyi Rih and lived there most of the time. I left the place from time to time. I lived in Horlivka in Luhansk. Before the war, for 7 years in total, I was and still am the head of the rehabilitation center. We treat addictions of all types and any complexity. We also opened a shelter on the same territory. Since the beginning of the war, we brought people from the Kherson region and from the railway stations, that is, or from other regions. We brought them to our center. They could spend the night here, take a shower, and move on. Now it is the other way around. These people are coming back, but they can also come and stay here.
I remember very well the first people who came to us, and I cooked borscht for them. I was at home, standing with a big pot of soup in my hand, and my husband said to me, "So how are you going to carry it? We need to take it to the office somehow." I said, "I have no idea. We need to do it anyway. We must feed the people. This is the most important thing." They just came to us in the middle of the night, so it made us forget all our fears.
I lived in Donetsk region for more than 30 years. I had 2 children. In 2014, when the war broke out, we moved to the city of Dobropilya. We had relatives there, my wife's mother, and I had 2 little children, a newborn son, born on May 8th, and a daughter who was 2.5 years old. First, we were just going to visit my mother-in-law and stay for the summer. Then we brought winter clothes, and so we lived there for 9 years. Until February 24th, 2022.
Russia attacked Ukraine.
Ukraine is under attack. Our armed forces are actively resisting the Russian troops.
For days now, Ukrainian cities have been under a bomb and rocket attack.
The enemy is coming from the occupied Crimea, trying to advance towards Melitopol.
That's just what it is. Fighting was active in the Donetsk region, and we moved to Poltava in the middle of summer. In Poltava, we started from scratch, but now we have 3 children. My little one is 9 years old, he says. Since I was born, there's war all the time. I thought for a moment, well, yes, I said, you were 2 weeks old when it started. And it's been 9 years, and he's been living in times of war all along.
Have you taken all the banners? Are you sure you haven't forgotten anything? Banners, documents, plastic cups, tape? Is everything there? Since the war began, I started volunteering in Dnipro. I delivered water, mattresses, pillows, insoles, medicine. A month later, a friend phoned me and offered to take part in the project. I agreed, and we started to work.
Me and my family were thinking about it even before the war. I wanted to plan and organize a relocation to another country, and he says, "The war has started. It's time to implement your plans. The business is closed down. You are free. It's time to get going." But I said, "Yes, it's time to get going right now, but it's the moment when I should do it here." Yes, although at first he was nervous for a long time, so only because of him, I even pretended that I was packing the things. Before the war, I made up my mind that I no longer needed a car. It was of no use. All this is not for me at all. It's a waste of time and money. So I decided that I should get rid of the car and be a free person. There is our symbol on my bike, a flag just on the handlebar, and everyone said, "Oh look, this is the girl." I said, "Yes, I'm Natalka from ADRA, good afternoon. Here's the truck, all for you." I was in front, riding the bike, and the truck was behind me. This is what my first days at ADRA were like. That's what I was doing during the first month.
On November 11th, the city of Kherson was deoccupied. We came here on the 13th. I don't remember how we got a pass because back then they didn't let anyone in there, no one. Not even all soldiers were allowed.
We arranged everything in advance. No one was allowed to go there. Everything was mined there. There were many sabotage reconnaissance groups, many Russians who pretended to be locals. It was dangerous to go there.
I was driving my car, and there was a 5-ton truck with us. We were instructed twice, before we reached the checkpoint and at the checkpoint, how to get here. We were not allowed to stop. Here, where we are now in Posad Pokrovsky, not a single residential building was intact, not even one.
Now it takes 2 hours to bring the products if we go along this road, and then it took us 7 hours, one way. Because the roads are washed away. There's no road at all. Everything is destroyed by tanks. When it started to rain, everything floated. The 5-ton truck swayed and drifted like this.
We went straight to Kherson. I have never been there before. And those guys who were going back home, I couldn't catch up with them. They were literally flying home. But we drove carefully. The bridge was blown up. We had to go along the edge of the road on the ground. It was dangerous for a 5-ton truck. It could turn over. And there were anti-tank mines nearby.
It was possible if you drive the car carefully, but there was a mine 30 centimeters from the wheel, and of course, the car got stuck. It's so scary when there is no one around you, and you are in the field, there is no phone connection. You realize that you will not get home on foot. There is not a house, so you could find where to stay, just nothing around, absolutely. But we were lucky, 3 tanks were coming. We are carrying humanitarian aid from WFP and ADRA. This loaded car is in the Kherson region. Unfortunately, we got stuck.
We brought 5 tons of humanitarian aid. The boxes are huge. People were already waiting for us. We also brought water. All residents of the city came out, everyone in their district. When you are doing your work, you don't pay attention to shelling. You can hear bang, bang. There were no strikes very close to us, but we always wear protection. Well, and listen.
Here, the district is a little more accessible, and you should better not stay here for a long time. Now, can you hear that?
Is this ours?
No, not ours. Let's be quick.
You realize it when you go back home. When you walk the streets and the lights are on, there are people and cars everywhere. But in Kherson, people don't walk outside after lunchtime. There are only few of them. They go out at such hour only to solve their problems. And that's it. In the evening, there are no more people on the streets. Well, in Kherson, you communicate with people, help them. We mostly work there. And when you return home, you start to understand that here it is more or less safe. It is more difficult there.
Since this area is quite close to the contact line and hostilities, this region is quite dangerous. There are first aid kits in the car for team members. Also, we take bulletproof vests and helmets with us. We always wear them in areas like this. Now we are at one more point, in Kupiansk. Here, local residents help us a lot. They unload everything together with my volunteers. The car pulls up. Several people are there at the back of a truck to check people on the list of names. People put a signature and immediately receive a box. And as I say, we come help and everyone runs away. We keep on hiding. Most people who remained in Kupiansk are disabled, elderly people.
The most dangerous area today is the Berislav community. There was a flood here, now there are aerial bombardments. 3 days ago, we stopped distributing the aid. Only 1 or 2 people came. But yesterday we had a meeting. We decided not to distribute the aid for now, not to risk people and ourselves.
В епіцентрі удару міста Береслав 5 людей поранені. Розбивають і літаками, і артилерією.
Багато дронів літає.
Тільки дрона побачив, я одразу тікаю, тому що за мною, просто за мною їздить. Куди моя машина, туди він.
Are you at home or hiding?
I just got out. It's been really tough in the past 3 days.
Okay, Marina, take care of yourself and don't go out. All right?
You know, when I was driving past the factory, a drone was following my car and it dropped. I don't know what and how. Our car is their target now. I just can't anymore.
Then you need to decide, come here to us, at least for a few days.
I'm just mentally exhausted.
This is our volunteer from the city of Berislav. For 3 days, they were bombarded intensively. This is her second time. She lost the teacher, and before that, a woman from a neighboring house. They only found her body parts 3 months ago. Marina also got a concussion. Well, it's really tough there now. They came to our warehouse to distribute food packages. It was in the village near Berislav. The car was already loaded, and as she was just saying, a quadcopter was there, and it dropped 2 bombs. But thank God no one was hurt. Marina was not far from the place of explosion, so she was concussed. She stayed in the hospital for 3 days. She was given an IV drip.
The communities we often go to suffered a lot. It was hard to see that all the houses were destroyed. People were left without homes, water, light, without anything. Our task was to help people. That is why we got up early in the morning every day and went there, distributed food packages, and talked with people. Everything is broken. Everything was under shelling. We are passing through a very dangerous area. We are taking humanitarian aid from WFP and from ADRA to the Luhansk region, to Nevsky and Makivka. It's terrible. Everything is shelled. The tent is set up, packages unloaded, water and cups are here, everything for the people. In 5 to 7 minutes, we start the distribution. Ah, I just forgot to shave. I was passing by your house. I saw you were not there.
ADRA's mission is to help people. We say, if we help at least one person, we can save the whole world. But we never help only one person. It is always a group of people. And this is not only my mission, but the mission of the team. We are always ready to participate in any project. Is there a water problem? We solve it. If it is financial assistance, we help with finances. No matter what. Drilling wells? We will be there. It's just that I set the tone. And our entire team is ready to join any project just because we want to help people. And we care about ADRA. We want ADRA to grow and develop, to be spoken about. When we come to Kherson, it is good to hear the administration saying, we need ADRA. We know everything will be in order here, and you will help wherever you can. We have been working together from the second day of deoccupation. They know us. We know them. We have never let them down and always helped them.
It was a kindergarten. After the deoccupation of the territories, the soldiers brought people from the places of attack, from the Kherson region, and we started to lodge people here because there was nowhere else to do it. And we did what we could. With the help of volunteers, we sent them further across Ukraine, because in the first days, there was heavy shelling, like never before. That's how it started. Then there was flooding, when the Kakhovka Dam was destroyed. most of our people left because the Ostriv microdistrict was completely flooded and people had nowhere to go. They were taken out by boat. Tchaikovsky Street, this area was also flooded. So people were staying here. Those whose houses were destroyed live here because they have nowhere to go. And some are non-mobile. They simply cannot travel any further. They bring us food. If they don't, we try to cook ourselves. Detergents, water. We try to provide people with everything they need.
When you come to one part of Kherson, there is a celebration. What we see on TV, people are happy. They carry the flags, hold up Ukrainian symbols. They are really happy. There are thousands of people in the square in Kherson. Then we drive to the first point where 300 people gathered in line to receive food packages, and literally in 15 minutes, there are already several thousand people. They came running. Then one elderly woman approached. "Sweetheart, what have you brought? I'm so hungry." Then, a young lady with a child, a baby, probably 3 or 4 months old, asks, "Is there baby food?" And we just brought some porridge. I say, "I think it is for babies over the age of 6 months, from 6 months. Maybe it's too early for your baby." And she says, "It'll do, we don't have anything to eat." When you hear that, you know.
Thank you very much for the humanitarian aid. At least now we have baby food because you cannot find it anywhere else. But they sold it for 800 hryvnias.
The city of Kherson. We are from Kherson. Oh, I'm so grateful. A low bow to everyone. You have not forgotten us. Ukraine remembers us. I sincerely thank you. May God protect you.
And then came a man with a child in a wheelchair, and he said, "Please help us. Please give us some food." And there were still thousands of people, and we knew that would not be enough for everyone.
It is very hard, especially at the points where we distribute the aid. Like it was in the beginning because of huge amounts, and it was not easy to put everything in order. There were periods when I felt I was already very tired, and apparently it is the support of the team that helped me. We have meetings, we call them STS. There we can talk, support each other, or I can even tell about something unpleasant that is in my heart or what I see in another person. Not to humiliate someone, but on the contrary to say, you might be having a problem, pay attention to it. And when I realize that I look askance at people, say something bad, I understand that I am too tired and I need some rest. Not only do we work together, we are also friends. It just happened that we became friends. And when we come to Kherson, they welcome us here as family. If you saw, we came to Evgen as to a father. He always sets the table. We can spend time together.
I don't know how we are going to spend the night here, if even you say it is very loud.
Maybe today will be better.
Do you promise?
It might be.
I'm tired of being afraid. I'm not afraid of anything now. You know, during this period, one just gets used to everything. And don't worry about myself. I worry about my team, about friends, about children. Most of all, I'm worried about them. The team, there are not less than 10 people, and everyone has his responsibility.
When I speak about my team, I am very worried. This is a touching moment because we are always together, every day. They are like skeleton, like organs that work together, and I am very worried about them.
When I hear explosions at night, I immediately message the volunteers. asking if everyone is safe and if everything is okay.
Everyone is cool. The Kherson team and all our guys of team, Kharkiv, Donetsk, Zaporizhia, Kyiv, are the coolest people. And I am very happy to work in this team.
First, we had one team. Those were volunteers from the event industry, because in time of peace, I was involved in the event management. Those people were photographers, screenwriters, loaders, stage workers, sound engineers, all from creative industry, marketers.
I decided to go. It was a very large factory warehouse premises. It was very cold. Really cold. I'm not used to this. In times of peace, I organize weddings. And there I was in a large warehouse. Lots of boxes. Everything was dirty. But I was so much into it, I got so used to people that I didn't want to lose it. And since March 2022, I have been a volunteer, non-stop. I did not whether it was social or not. They asked me, "Can you help?" I said, "I can." And I got into it. There are so many people who need help and support, and when you know it, you just can't stop.
For almost a year, we were delivering bread. Later, we began to bring food packages to the occupied territories of the Kupiansk district. There are hardly any roads. In the Kupiansk direction, the road is one of the best. But further, bridges are broken, roads are broken. So we have to move slowly, never hurry. It's simply impossible to drive faster.
Originally, I came to Ukraine because I wanted to have a deeper understanding of the situation so that I could also emotionally connect more. Then I came, and ever since I had this very strong urge to show solidarity because Ukraine has been very heavily on my heart after I visited first time. So that's why I wanted to come and volunteer. Even it's a little thing that I can do, I think it's important.
The biggest problem is, of course, a lack of cars because cars break down. Almost 70% of our roads are destroyed. That is, roads of the first importance are more or less okay, but since we go to villages, our cars break down very quickly. Hello. Ah, okay, I got it. Here we are, there is no bridge. The bridge is very low, they said. We can't go there. We are taking a detour. Well, we're used to it now. Our team is friendly and united. We all help each other. My parents don't even know where I go. I won't say where I'm going so they don't worry. Our mobile hotspots are in different places. Our district is considered very big. The distance between 2 points can be very large. And if there is no connection, you start to worry about the people and look for ways to contact them. I mean, there is a lack of a Starlink-type satellite so that we can maintain communication with every team in any situation.
Honestly, like you hear, it's, I don't think many people understand how it is to live under the influence of war. It's so different experiencing this in person than just watching the news, because the front line is just there, and we could see the smoke, we could hear the explosions. Just unbelievable to me that some people just don't care, or they think that they don't need to help, because the war is still going on, and that's why Ukraine needs our strong support.
The most difficult time, perhaps, was the beginning of the war. When the refugees from the destroyed villages started coming, Serhiy brought them It was really hard to look at children, little children who were deprived of the opportunity to live a normal life, grow up, and enjoy their childhood. They were forced to live in this nightmare. So the hardest thing for me was watching them suffer.
It was so hard. The final straw was when Serhiy said, "Give candies to the children." And in a snap of a finger, literally within a second, they grabbed those candies. I could no longer control myself and burst into tears and stepped aside. In their turn, the children already knew who to go to. They did not approach Serhiy. He was trying to control his emotions to the last. And at that very moment, Serhiy was filming me, as it turned out. And what do you think? Well, I was not crying bitterly. But then I went away and burst into tears. And now this video has 1.5 million views in TikTok. How do you like it? Well, it was very difficult.
Most people were evacuated, thank God. There was such a period. The rest lived in basements, in bomb shelters. We spent some nights in a bomb shelter because there was often heavy shelling and a lot of things happened at night. So we spent some time in the basement or in a bomb shelter, depending on where we managed to get. We were all like a family. We had lunch together and stayed in the basement. We spent a lot of time together, and then some left. Some were in Kyiv, others in Kharkiv. They moved on with their lives, but we still keep in touch. We phone each other to ask how things are going.
I work. Anyway, I think I still work at an orphan boarding school. Our life changed even before a missile hit the boarding school, because the children were taken away almost immediately at the beginning of the war. We had no classes. Our work was over. Of course, we went there to check if everything was okay, but it was no longer the work we were used to. At the moment of the explosion, I was in the house nearby. Have you seen it? There is a house on the territory. Well, I can't say I was scared. I was just so sorry.
I remember one incident. We were in the car with one man. There were many refugees coming at that time. I think he was from the Donetsk region. I don't remember from where exactly. He was silent all the time. While they were staying in our shelter, he was silent. Later, I had an opportunity to take them to the train station. They were going abroad. He was taking his family abroad. As we got into the car and drove off, he said only a few words. He said, "Now I have nothing." You remember moments like this forever, because we are often dissatisfied with life and our circumstances. But when you meet people in even more challenging situations, you realize how much harder their lives are, and it touches your heart. It changes your outlook on life, shifts your values, and helps you see beyond just your own life, comfort, or material interests.
There are still many people in Ukraine who stay here and need help. Those who left, I'm not saying everything is easy in their lives, but they are getting support from other countries. But our state cannot handle everything on its own. When organizations like ADRA step in to help, it's invaluable. The temporarily occupied territories and the areas under shelling are full of people. These are not just land or buildings, but people, children, and animals. This is a huge group of people who, without any exaggeration, are in urgent need of help. It seems to me if we do not do this, it will be much more difficult for Ukraine to gain this victory. I grew up here. This is my great-grandfather's land. They were shelling from both sides. Ours from there, Russia from there. just above our heads. That's why houses in this area are damaged. The roof in my house is damaged. All the sheds. First, I was afraid. Then I took a hoe and went outside to weed the flowers. Our soldiers were passing by and gave a thumbs up, as if saying, "Well done, Grandma. You're not afraid." We are in the Palace of Culture. This was an auditorium, very beautiful auditorium, and now, as you can see, it has all been destroyed.
First, there were explosions not far away. Well, we thought it was just accidental, that something just exploded. Then we got the information that it was an airfield. The Russians were already bombarding not only this area, but all over Ukraine. But no one left the area. Everyone stayed until they got here. I don't know how. A big column of Russian tanks was here. So many of them. They were rumbling and rumbling. They went along the road there to Shevchenko, to Mykolaiv, to the Kherson highway. They were stopped there, so they just went in different directions.
Our village was badly damaged. S-300s, aerial bombs, cluster bombs, Grad, and tanks. We had everything here. Everything that can fly, and not only. It's scary, but we didn't think about it at that time. We had to worry about people. I was very scared when children were here. First of all, we had to think about how to transport pensioners and children. So they were all taken out, and some said they would not leave. There were not many of them who stayed. And the most important thing was that there were no more children.
Later, they tried to enter again. They didn't go in the direction of a highway, but went down the field road. We stopped there and began to count. We counted how many tanks there were. Oh Lord. You know, it was scary and not scary at the same time. We counted and counted. There were already 70. They had a field kitchen, everything. They didn't make it to Mykolaiv for the second time. And they scattered all over the area. And maybe you were there, where the channel is. Weren't you there? They were pushed back to the other side of the channel, and they stopped there and started shelling our village, through our village to Shevchenko, endlessly. They never stopped shelling and bombing. Then our soldiers came to our village and told us that we should better leave the place. It was now scary even for us, because the houses were burning. They started to destroy everything. It was painful to watch our village burn.
Давайте сеемся сначала, больше не надо. Первое село, а потом сеемся, да, все. Вот то посчитала? Сюда, сюда несите, пацаны.
Сюди ставте. Так, я пішла, пока. Ух ти, караул. Ну, куди? Паспорт беріть і йдіть до людей, до оцих. Оце. Аня, куди паспорт беріть? Аня, куди паспорт, де твій сумки?
We were so happy when the first scouts came here on May 1st. Our house is there, on the corner. And when the scouts came, it was even funny because they had no identification marks. Who are you? Was it time for hugs and kissed? Or did we have to look for a grenade?
Are you going to get the package?
Of course, my husband is there. Imagine, he comes in, and I ask them to say some words in Ukrainian that are very difficult for Russians to pronounce. It was like a code at the beginning of the war. They laughed, but it was just like I'm telling you. I will show you what they have done. You see, we were trying to hide here and ran as fast as we could. We never had enough time to hide.
Look, here it is. Somehow, a bullet went through it. This one was fired. They were a size of a battery. Come here with the camera, come closer. It will be interesting to see. Watch your feet. This is where we were hiding. Can you see it? This is our shelter, our cellar. We went there. We went through the hole in the wall and jumped in here. Look, I made a hole in our wall. I used a sledgehammer. So, we went from there, from the room right here, and started to count the strikes. There were 30, 40, sometimes 70 strikes a day.
All houses here are destroyed or damaged. There is not a single that is intact. Infrastructure, residential buildings, everything is destroyed. We don't know how, but it was like a miracle. There was an elderly woman. She was thrown out of the apartment by an explosive wave, but she survived. We took her out of the village. The windows are boarded up. Some places were cleared. If there is a room suitable for living, people return there. And if everything is destroyed, of course, they cannot return. Look at the door. What kind of strike was it if the door was just smashed down? Only 38 of us stayed here. 38 people who survived the war here. Now people are coming back. Those having a place to live cover the windows with film, and now there are already 208 people.
When I came back to the village, when we were finally allowed, there was no one here. Only cats and dogs and cows wandered everywhere. When I arrived, well, my house is still standing. I'm glad. But when I went inside and opened the door, oh Lord, there is nothing in the house. And I could see the sky through the roof. Everything. Everything is broken. I have no house to live in. And this what they gave me. Do you want me to show you? Come with me. I'll show you. Yes, it is. I plug it in and it's warm. It warms well. The problem is with the door, can you see? I don't know how to insulate it. You know, I really want to be among my people. I'm so used to this place. I simply want to be here. I don't know. I want to be at home. How long do I have left, right? 77. I turned 77 in August. Well, I want to live here. I think winter is going to be warm.
When I talk to people for 5 to 10 minutes, spend time with them. It inspires and lifts me up. And my team feel the same way.
First of all, what gives me strength is helping people who need it. Now there are thousands of people who are grateful. We understand this. The more we help, the more we give people joy, and they see the purpose to live. ADRA is very good at supporting people.
Working with people and helping people is not always easy because it is not always rewarding. You are often even criticized. Nevertheless, I like it. I love my team. I like the people around me. This motivates and encourages me a lot.
Next. Проходьте. Знайомтесь, Тетяна.
Наташа.
Дуже
Також приємно. Що ви до нас завітали?
Nice to meet you, каже.
Да. Скільки сахара? Цукор.
Цукор. Sugar. With sugar.
1, 2.
1, 2, sugar. How much sugar do you need?
Many.
Many.
Без сахара.
Не, много говори, давай сам доложи. Добрий день, ти чуєш?
Добрий день. Мене звуть Йона, і я фінський.
Sometimes I think to myself, do I need it all? Maybe I should find something else, with less stress. But then, when you have helped a person and you see some result, you gain strength to do more. I am a person of faith, and I have such reflections for every day. It is called God's Thoughts About Me. I often read it. Even today, I read a passage where God said to me, I am always with you. Don't be afraid. Everything will work out for you. This helps a lot if we speak about the spiritual sphere, but in general, only when I see real stories of people. When I help someone, if I manage to get to the place first, or if no one was able to go to some place and we solve the issue and get there. When you experience it, you get some kind of adrenaline rush, release of endorphins. People who live closer to the front line, where shelling takes place more often. When you see their happy faces, you realize you are doing something so important for them, and this is your part, your contribution to the victory, helping people. Well, it fills you up.
This is a nice village, and I want it to be rebuilt. We will make it look beautiful again, and I hope a kindergarten and a school will work. I dream of peace on earth. I want our village to flourish as it was before the war, and even better. We need to rebuild the road, and I believe everything will be fine. Yes, for some reason I believe everything will be fine. They will rebuild it, I think. One building is definitely beyond repair. And we are waiting for the children. Of course.
Thank you. Thank you for coming and helping. You know, I wish I could help someone instead of getting help myself. You know, at first it was so difficult to accept this help that some people give you. Why should it be so? But now I'm used to it. They give, and I'm thankful. I thank all of you who come, who give us what we need, who help the village. There are many people who live in Mykolaiv. And there are those who stay here, rebuild their houses. But everyone hopes that things will get better. I hope someone will come and help me rebuild the house so I can live in this house for some time. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for coming on behalf of all the villagers. Thank you so much.